everybody, it's Wes with Heritage Lawns and Irrigation, and it's mid-November, and the weatherman said, hey, it looks like we're going to get a good hard freeze tomorrow night and maybe some snow, and I haven't got my sprinkler system winterized yet, so I thought I would just take a minute here to show you some quick steps that you can do for these minor freezes to make sure that your system is okay. With these short little freezes like this, it's no big deal for anything that's below ground. The ground is not going to freeze. It's going to be back up above freezing the next day. So everything below ground is fine. But our stuff above ground, like in this case, my backflow device is up above ground. Those are all threats or susceptible to freezes when it gets about 28 degrees or less. We got some problems with that. So I thought I'd take a minute here and show you the steps that you need to do to protect your sprinkler system under these quick freeze conditions. So you're going to need just a basic pliers and a screwdriver, should get you through, and then something to cover the backflow device. So like in my case, I'm going to use this old sleeping bag to cover it up and make sure that we're protected. Okay, so step number one, let's go turn the water off. Follow me. Okay, so step number one, turn the water off, and that is going to be either outside, somewhere near your water meter, or inside, usually where it comes into the house. Those are the two main places for it. In our case, gotta find it up here, valve box, pop up with the valve box. And if you can see down inside here, we've got the main turn on and turn off for the sprinkler system. So I can't use that with my fingers, though some people are strong enough. Take your pliers and start closing it down. Once I get it loose, I can start cranking it. And righty tighty, lefty loosey. Get it down. Okay. So get that, make sure give it just a little bit of a snug. Make sure it's all the way off. And we'll come back to that here in a minute. All right, now the water's off. Next step is take the pressure off the lines. So we're gonna go to the controller and we're gonna just manually turn on a sprinkler zone. So follow me to the controller. All right, so at the sprinkler controller, I'm just gonna go to manual stations or manual run. And I'm just gonna run one station for a second. And since I've turned the water off, it's not actually going to come up and start running. If it does, you didn't get the water all the way off. But what it is doing is opening up the valves, and it's releasing some pressure on the sprinkler system so not everything sprays all over you when you go to open up some of these other valves. Okay, we're just going to leave that on for a second. Now we're going to go back over to that backflow device. Follow me. Okay, so back over at the backflow device, we've turned the main water off. We set up one zone to run to take the pressure off the sprinkler system. Now the last step to do is to take and crack all of these little valves and turn them all at like a 45-degree angle so that if there is any water left in them, it doesn't freeze them and break them. So pretty straightforward. This is where you're going to take your screwdriver, put it in the little slot, and give it a little crack, 45 for each one of those. A little bit of water bubbling out, it's okay, but we don't want it running and pouring and coming out. And then each of these bigger ball valves, crack those at about a 45-degree angle. So now those valves are all cracked so that they won't freeze. And then last step is to take a heavy blanket, an old quilt, an old sleeping bag, something like this, and just take and wrap this up, cover it up. And if you can tent it so that the heat from the ground, this time of year the ground is still nice and warm, that will help keep it from freezing underneath here, and we'll be in good shape since it's just a short few hours that it's going to be freezing anyways. And then if you want to run your sprinkler system because you see it or something like that afterwards, just reverse all those steps and you'll be back in business. So anyway, quick recap then. 1, turn the water off. 2, take the pressure off the zones by manually running one zone. And 3, crack all your valves. And then 4, cover it up with some kind of a blanket or tarp so that it doesn't freeze overnight. And you should be good to go, especially on these short freezes. So I hope this helps everybody, and we'll see you on the lawn.